Good evening. We welcome you, dear friends. We have amidst us our President of AITUC, Comrade Ramendra Kumar, and he is the President of AITUC. Comrade Amarjeet Kaur, she is the General Secretary of All India Trade Union Congress, National General Secretary. We have with us Vidyasagar Giri, who was the Vice President, Comrade Yusuf, who is the Vice President, Comrade Prasanna Uttagi, who is the President of Goa State AITUC, and Comrade Haridwar Singh, who is the Vice President. I happen to be the General Secretary of AITUC Goa, and we heartily welcome you. I think Comrade Amarjeet Kaur will address you in a brief address on the national, international, and other important matters affecting the workers and working class, working people, toiling people in the country.
So thanks, dear friends, that you have come to know what we are doing here in Goa as a national meeting of our working class, AITUC, affiliated unions. We have our national body, General Council and Working Committee. Here we are meeting as Working Committee. While we are meeting, a few days ago we were in protest on 5th February on the budget 2025-2026, and we think that the budget is once again pro-corporate, against labor, against farmers, against common people. No consideration is given to labor-intensive industries for investment in that, in smaller sector or in MSMEs, which can produce lots number of employment opportunities for our people. Neither there is any relief as far as the social security schemes or welfare schemes are concerned. In real terms, the budget declined. It's whatever recommendation they gave, how much money will be spent on which scheme. Actually, it is less because of looking at inflation or what they had announced in the last budget. They could not spend, and whatever they spent, this present is in some cases less than the spent money also. So the budget propositions are against public services, against public sector, against those sectors which are dependent on minimum wages, so that all area is neglected. Then we also noticed how this whole budget has not addressed the employment issue. Unemployment is quite serious in our country, and our youth has been up in arms time and again. The results are declared, the job opportunities, the letters are released, but then the appointments are not given. This has been happening year after year, and unemployment is quite a severe situation in our country. But there is no direct scheme where employment generation or livelihood creation government could claim. So even where the livelihood exists and some employment generation, as I mentioned, MSME sector is not given relief. They are only told you can take more loans. The government also told farmers to take more loans. They have done nothing how they should give their minimum support price or accept their subsidy continuation, nothing of the sort. Similarly, we find that this scheme which they announced in the month of June, that was employment linked incentive, and actually it was meant to help the employers. It's not for job generation, only to the tune of the workers who are earning 40,000, 45,000 or 60,000, they were supposed to be working at 15,000. and that 15,000, the employer is being incentivized, those 15,000 instead of employer paying, Government of India paying. So it was a big joke. So PLI scheme, production linked incentive or employment linked incentive is just a bogey. It is only to help the employers and it has nothing to do with employment generation. So they claimed it is employment generation and it is exposed, and this time she did not talk about it. We know this is continued still, but she did not talk. We also found that this government totally disregards its own economic survey also. The economic survey has told that whatever was being paid to the workers in 2017-2018, even now in 2023 and 24, workers are being paid less. So the wages for workers, males and females, it is reduced for both. And you can imagine what was the inflation situation now, 2017-18 to 2023-24, how much prices have risen. And then rather their wages are reduced. So that means it is not only real term wage depression, actually depression is much more because of inflation also. So that is added. So economic survey has told half picture, but if you look at the full picture, it is more dangerous. So government has not paid any heed to what its own economic survey said. Their economic survey also told that those who are in casual jobs, males were getting something between 212 to 298 rupees per day, casual worker. Who will live in that wage? And females were getting only 129 to 135 rupees, only to that tune. So one is wage depression, one is casual workers living or not living at that much of money if somebody can live. So budget is continued, serious discussion, budget session is going on. So in our working committee also we are further going into detail what is happening sector after sector, because Manrega we wanted increase, they have not done. We trade unions had submitted a memorandum to Finance Minister. Finance Minister has not paid any heed to our demands. We had asked for urban employment guarantee scheme like rural employment guarantee. Government has refused to consider that also. Rather, MG Narega funds have also been reduced. So that is budget is one of the issue in the working committee, and our struggle against these present budget proposals which are pro-corporate goes on. Secondly, there is a proposal by our central trade unions to hold a national convention in Delhi, National Convention of Workers, platform of central trade unions in which 10 central trade unions are working together. We will be meeting in that convention. We are going to plan a very prolonged 2 months campaign, door to door, where we are going to take up, of course, unemployment issue also, privatization of public sector, opposing that also, issues of minimum wages of worker, occupational safety, health of workers, all the issues will be taken up. But the major issue will be labor codes. The government is time and again announcing, and the Labour Minister has 4 times within 1 month, he announced that from 1st April, 4 labor codes will be put on board, will be implemented. And as media people know that trade unions have been continuously opposing those 4 labor codes. We wanted changes in labor laws, but not in the name of ease of business, making those changes in laws against workers and against trade unions. So these labor codes are actually designed to take away our rights, and it's not simply rights given on platter by anybody. It was 150 years struggle of labor of our country during British period onwards, and even in independent India, to achieve these rights. So it is not one day's work, it is a work of decades of our struggles, and this government suddenly wants to take away those rights of unionization, union registration, union recognition, derecognition easy, punishments on trade union leaders more, punishments on employers on violation totally being refused, right to strike being snatched away, deregistration becoming so easy, unions will be criminalized, their leaders will be criminalized. So all democratic spaces for the trade unions will be closed through these labor law changes through labor codes. So labor codes will be quite a serious agenda which will be under discussion in this national convention apart from our other agendas. And around that there will be campaign, and that will lead to a strike action, all India nationwide strike action in the month of May. Date is yet not decided. Date will be decided on 18th March when we meet in Delhi as a convention. So that is also under consideration, the kind of campaign we will take up. From village level to town level, district level, state level, pad yatras, sakir yatras, motorcycle yatras, all types of campaign will be conducted, and that will lead to a strike action. So that also we discussed here. While we were discussing here, naturally in the beginning we took cognizance of what is happening in the world. Because whatever happens in any corner of this planet, the earth, it impacts the working class everywhere. And what we are seeing now is, after victory of Trump, he is behaving as a policeman. He is telling Panama belongs to me, Mexico belongs to me, and Canada will become 51st state, and Gaza is mine, and Netanyahu should on my behalf take the Gaza for me. Whole Middle East will not exist like Middle East, they will advance towards it. Caspian Sea, he is eyeing, all the waterways he is looking at, the way he is behaving, and the way the attitude is against immigrants, against workers, against LGBT community or transgenders, against women. His attitude is totally a new style of imperialism, I should say. It's a form of a neo-colonization. And he is declaring one-sided, one-way declarations coming from him on tariff questions. He wants to safeguard his payment of balance, that balance he wants to make in the export and import, and he wants it to work in advantage of United States of American market and their corporates. And from that purpose, he is declaring tariffs whichever way he wants to declare. So we think that that will embolden all those regimes and governments who in their respective countries are already taking anti-democratic positions, anti-secular positions against minorities, creating hatred, making divisions, suppressing workers, suppressing organized movements. They all feel emboldened the way Trump is behaving. So we, as a responsible trade union founded in 1920 as a central trade union organization, we were founded in 1920, but our foundation doesn't begin from there. All the unions which began in 19th century came together and founded AITUC. So it's a long battle. Lala Lajpat Rai, the great freedom fighter, was our founding president. Pandit Nehru also was chairperson of AITUC in 28. Netaji Subhash Chandra was our president in 1929. In 1939 we had another legendary V.V. Giri. So all the great freedom fighters used to be closer to the trade union movement. So pre-independence, the working class movement, the trade union, and once AITUC was founded under the flag of AITUC, freedom movement participation happened. And post-independence, we were fighting on the streets to implement what is ensured in our constitution. And that's how several legislations we fought for and we got. So pre-independence legislations, post-independent legislations, all are going to be affected the way present regime is talking about labor law reforms and bringing in labor codes. We also feel that Indian government, even before Trump is going to implement his announcements on tariff, is already lying on floor in favor of Trump. He only made announcements, And in our budget, if you look at, I will request the media persons to go in detail. You will find all the announcements by Finance Minister on export and import duty changes. It is in favor of what is supposed to be imports to India from United States of America. So what Trump wants, he has already made only announcements, and Indian government is already trying to implement through its budget. And that whole import and export duty, what she was announcing on different items, is going to go against India. It will not be to our advantage. It will be to the advantage of foreign corporates, and among them, maximum corporates who will benefit is from United States of America. So it is going to bring in disadvantage to us. Another thing, we feel very much pained, and we feel ashamed that our Prime Minister did not utter a single word to oppose Americans' stand of sending our workers with handcuffs. You have them in shackles in their feet, and you have their handcuffs, and a military plane of United States of America brings our almost 106 workers, and you land them at Amritsar airport. Why didn't you bring it to Gujarat? You should have tried to bring it to Gujarat. Out of those 106, 33 are Gujaratis in that flight. And they are not criminals. They went out for looking for better pastures. And they come like this. A country like Colombia, small size country, that government dares Mr. Trump and said, you cannot put my people into your military plane and bring to my country. We will not allow you landing on our land. And a person who is claiming to be Vishwaguru for about India, he talks about, and he doesn't utter a single word. And 5th February is chosen for landing of that military plane, the day Delhi is going on polls, and the day Pradhan Mantri is in Mahakumbh. So you are wanting to have your coverage for voting purpose in Delhi, but you don't bother that your Indians are being brought in handcuffs. They were not criminals. They went there for work, job, for livelihood, all those things. So we are failing in handling our own nation and giving employment to our people, a better situation in our country. And if they are going out, if they are maltreated, the government doesn't utter a single word. I think it's not only too much pain and scars to those people in their minds, it is scars to we Indians also. We feel ashamed. First time in independent India, this kind of behavior has been meted to us. And Mr. Narendra Modi did not utter a single word. And mind you, all of you reported a few months ago, rather last year, you reported India has surpassed China. Our population is more than China. That means we are biggest country in the world, and we claim to be biggest democracy. What is this 140 crore people being humiliated, and Prime Minister peacefully not even uttering a word, and he is at peace? So we trade unions feel it very, very bad. He sent our workers to Israel in construction firms to remove Palestinians, to replace by Indian workers. AITUC protested. You can't give jobs here and you are sending them to conflict zones to die. Our boys who did not get proper jobs here went to Russia and Ukraine, and they are dying in army there. They did not go for army recruitment. They went for normal jobs. So our unemployment is serious issue for us as an AITUC. And we find our people are being maltreated and the government is quiet. And government, before Mr. Modi reaches to meet, Trump has already done the homework here in giving them concessions in our budget. I have not forgotten in his first visit when he went to Madison Square and addressed meeting. Before starting from here, he had removed import duty on 135 medicines, and they all were the medicines being produced by international pharmaceutical companies, and vast majority of them were from United States of America. So Mr. Modi is playing the same game now. He is going there, and before going in budget, he is giving similar kind of concessions to him. So we are not going to take it lie down. on the labor code issues or unemployment issues or the issues of our dignity or issue of our workers and their respect, the questions of minimum job, questions of our defense of our public sector and public services for our common masses. All those issues are us, and on top of this we want unity of our people, harmony in our people. We do not want hatred, we do not want polarization, we do not want communalization, because workers have to be treated as workers. They are not supposed to be. They can be Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Baud, Jain, Parsi, Zoroastrian, whatever they are believers or non-believers, atheists or non-atheists, whoever they are. That is their personal affair. But they as workers want to have their this thing in kitty. Simultaneously with these issues and with these agitations, AITUC had taken up two big exercises. One, we organized in the month of November a workshop on minimum wages, and on that basis all the states will have those kinds of workshops, and then a big movement will be developed in India phase wise on this question of minimum wages for our workers. Second workshop we took up was on migrant workers. That was recently in January in the state of Kerala. Minimum wage was in Bangalore, that workshop, and this workshop was in Kerala. And in that migrant workshops, we are demanding a national policy on migrant workers, national as well as international. Within our country, we have an interstate migrant act. The government is dumping that act in Occupational Safety Health Code. We are opposing it. This act should remain as independent act, and it should be strengthened, it should be improved, and there should be national policy on migrant workers. Similarly, there should be changes in immigration laws, and our workers should be given all benefits and protection which is required for them when they leave from this country and when they are in another country, safeguard of theirs. Because at present even our embassies in those countries do not protect our workers. If somebody dies, they contact us, the trade unions, how the dead body has to come. And then we have to intervene with the government, discuss with the government to bring the dead body and bring it to the family. So there is no connectivity, government doesn't care. They promised us in 2020 that okay, we will bring national policy. They have done nothing, rather they are going to kill our existing migrant act also. So that problem is there. And when we went to Kerala for our migrant workers convention, what we were told, Kerala government, LDF government calls them Atithi, guest workers. They don't call them migrant workers somewhere who has come from UP wala, Bihar wala or Odisha wala. They give them a total respect. The word uses Atithi. They say our own workers have gone abroad for the job, and we in Kerala need the workers. So we want respect for them, we want to respect them. They are doing the work with our workers have gone now and not able to do it. So they are called Atithi, the guest. We want that kind of respect for our workers everywhere in the world, and we do not want the way deportations are happening. So looking at all those issues, the working committee is having fruitful discussion here. And we are also in this working committee proposed our national conference will be held in Bangalore, which we decided earlier and we are confirming now. We will be having our conference in Bangalore. But before that, all these agitations programs will be there. We are in touch with our farmers organizations. We expressed our solidarity with Dallewal, who is sitting for now more than 75 days. He is on hunger strike, a farmer leader. We urged the finance minister also when we met her that please intervene, save his life. But the government damn cares for workers' issues. They have brought a new policy for them also. Agriculture marketing policy, something they call. This new policy is actually bringing back those 3 farm laws which the government had to withdraw when they faced a 13-month-long farmers' agitation on the border of Delhi. And now in new form, they are bringing the same content. So we are in touch with farmers. The farmers unions will be in unison with our central trade union, take up certain common actions also, and maybe the coming days we'll see joint mobilizations also of unions and the farmers together. So that also we are visualizing. So in after our convention, maybe a big convention of workers and farmers will be held. Maybe that big joint convention will plan several lakhs of people marching to Delhi as workers and farmers, because we do not have any hope from this government led by Modi, because they are only on their own agenda to win elections through all false means, through all riggings, through all EVM processes they want to stick to, and they are just killing our secular democratic institutions, and they have attacked Constitution of India. So for us, Constitution is a body for which trade unions worked hard. AITUC was the first pre-independence to demand a constituent assembly, and AITUC represented the charter of demand of workers of India to that constituent assembly through our leader Hasrat Mohani. And AITUC gained rights for workers in that constitution because of struggles of workers of India in the pre-independence era. And post-independence era, whatever rights we got through constitution, we used those rights and got several legislations in favor of our working class. So for us, Constitution is a constitution for secular democracy, but of course the Constitution is for our rights also. Constitution is for rights of farmers also, and this government is simply trying to kill that Constitution. So AITUC is also in several states taken up the preamble of Constitution as the key spirit, the soul of the Constitution, to carry it forward to grassroots level while we will be campaigning. This all I wanted to report to you people. I hope that in the coming days all the agitations which are developed will also be reported, and we are really in comfort environment here. All the hospitality which has been given by our Goa AITUC, this is our very, very fighting unit, very respectable unit of our AITUC in Goa, and lots of lessons our younger generation learns from the fighting spirit of our Goan trade union comrades under AITUC. So they have provided us a very good opportunity for having these discussions and debate, and from all corners, representing all sectors, our working committee members are present here. I will appeal you to give some coverage to our working committee meeting. Thank you.